Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about me switching back to mixed grip. I've had a lot of questions about it, and what's ended up happening, a lot of people missed the vlogs on that back in October when I started messing with mixed grip again. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I felt like, based upon all my supplemental work, based upon speed work, everything else, that my deadlift had gone up considerably. Like my potential to deadlift, and I don't mean any specific type, but just deadlifting in general, had gone up tremendously, but I was really limited by the hook grip. And you guys know I really gave hook grip my all. I worked on it for over a year. Zero mixed grip pulling, working on the hook grip, working on my grip, trying to strengthen my thumbs, doing 20 sets of speed pulls every week with hook grip, pulling heavy every other week with a hook grip. But I got to the point to where anytime I started getting up to the 530 to 550 range, the hook, I would tend to lose it. It got to the point of where I really disliked pulling because of it, because no matter how much I worked on it, how much I took care of my thumb skin, no matter what I did, it was always painful, and it never felt strong. And that's the thing. In theory, hook grip should be stronger than mixed grip once you master it. And by mastering it, I went and read guides and watched videos from people who coach Olympic lifting. I watched videos by people who have pulled 700 plus with a hook grip. In fact, I actually watched Kaylor Woolham's stuff on it. Right, he's deadlifted over 900. He's deadlifted like 950 with a hook grip. I could not make it work. I was still not as strong. Like, in other words, no matter what I did, I couldn't hold on to a bar. When I started getting above maybe 530, I lost the hook, no matter what I did. And we're talking dozens of reps of practice every single week. I just couldn't make it work. Now, I know people who make it work, and I love the idea. But at a certain point, I had to just accept, you know what, if I'm careful, I can go back to mixed grip. I had my one mishap with mixed grip many, many years ago. I have learned a lot in the 16 years that followed that. All right, because we're coming up on 16 years. I've learned a lot in 16 years. Now, granted, I even had to learn a lot while I was sick and unable to train for several years. All right, while I was in bed, I still read, I still studied stuff. I wanted to get back into training. So I cared about these things. But I've learned a lot. And I felt like I've reached a point where I can actually do mixed grip just fine if I'm careful, if I'm safe, if I follow a lot of rules. And sure enough, we tested it, and you guys saw that first set of pulls up there. The very first heavy pull I did with mixed grip again, having done no mixed grip, ended up being 600 pounds off of a 2-inch block. Now let's put that in perspective. That means that my mixed grip was 60 to 70 pounds stronger than my hook grip. Okay. And I feel like even now, grip is my weak link. Right, as of my recent poll, which you guys will see in here, and I may or may not put this up within the same month I filmed this. I'm so many videos ahead, I might work this into the rotation sooner. I might not. But I did a recent poll with 575. You guys will see in this clip at some point, 575 plus 57 pounds of chains. And I got to the lockout, locked it all the way back, and just as I started the eccentric, I lost it on the left side. So my max pull is probably about 600. It's about what I can handle as far as mixed grip. Okay, well, I need to be stronger than that. So we've got to do more grip work. But if we go back and look at that with the hook grip, in spite of even extra grip training, in spite of all the stuff I did, about 530. And I missed some in that range too, about 530. It's about all I could pull from the floor with a hook. And after that, I lost it. I would still be pulling that right now. So what do we do about it? Well, we do things to help. I'm going to, I guess, discuss that a lot in the future. A lot of it has to do with your back training, your lat training. Because I'll be honest, I wasn't doing a lot of upper back work at the time when I tore my bicep many years ago. There were specific illicit substances involved. There was extreme overreaching. Now, people might think now, oh man, you train with excessive volume and stuff now. Yeah, but I don't deadlift every day. Okay, there's a big difference. I think people need to understand that I was pulling doubles every day when I hurt myself originally, or 5 days a week. How many people are doing heavy doubles on deadlifts 5 days a week? And I didn't pull it on the first rep. I didn't cut the injury on the first rep. I got it on the second rep. And what's one of the things I tell you guys? Rep work is where you get hurt on a lot of these big lifts, not from the singles. So I'm working on pulling the slack out of the bar. I'm working on only pulling heavy singles. So in other words, we can avoid arm bend by just focusing on singles because you're going to be tight. You're going to be tight. We avoid overreaching. We take really good care of our tendons. I've done a lot of work to build up those tendons. Remember, I did my really high volume chin-up stuff to the point where it caused no bicep tendonitis. Even now, I do really strict curls, in which I go all the way down. Okay? I do a lot of pulling for my upper back. In my Pendlay rows, I lock all the way out at the bottom. So we pull from the floor with the lats from a locked position. I do those every day. But a big part of that has to do with being able to do pulls from a stretch position. Helps build those tendons up, builds the strength of the bicep in that position. Same thing. All my curls, I go all the way down. That's one of the things I tell guys too. I mean, a lot of the bodybuilders who want to do partials with their curls and stuff, right? They want to get on a preacher bench and not go all the way down and all this silly stuff. They come up with crazy stuff for their biceps for such a simple muscle. But that's the stuff that could cause you to not be strong in that stretch position. Because what ends up happening is that when you're weak at the stretch position and then you try to bend the arm at all, right? Because you don't go all the way down on curls and things. You don't have strength in that stretch position, which is what? Mobility. Not flexibility, it's mobility. How strong are you at the terminal ends of the range of motion? Too many partials, doing nothing but partials on your back work, like your pull downs, chin ups, pull ups, rows, partial curls, right? It makes you weaker in that position. That's going to give you the potential for it. Doing too many reps on deadlifts with a mixed grip to where you get fatigued, right? Fatigue causes it because your form starts to break down and you get more arm bend instead of just doing one heavy pull at a time. You've got to look at these things. These are what our concerns are. So our concerns tend to be, number one, overuse and inflammation, right? Excessive pulling. Tends to be from fatigue from too many reps of pulling, and those can go hand in hand, right? High volumes of deadlifting. Tends to be muscular weakness or a mobility issue, which again, mobility is a muscular weakness. Right, there's the one I missed. Left side gave out. But mobility is a muscular weakness, is it not? So by training correctly, we can reduce all of these things. And for me, what I have to remember at the end of the day, I can't let that limit my ability to pull. Now, a lot of people say, well, why don't you just use straps? Because the straps is a different lift. That's not going to teach me to be a better deadlifter. And I know that a lot of guys are going to argue against that. But people need to remember, how do I pull? I pull heavy singles. If I'm not strong enough to pull my heavy singles, then how am I going to find my weak points? Okay, if I can't pull my heavy singles using a raw grip, not like I'm doing a bunch of volume here, then how am I ever going to have the best deadlift possible? So it doesn't help me to do that. And if anything, a lot of my training is geared towards really testing the grip. A lot of change. I'm doing a lot of change on both sumo and conventional. Okay, that's a good test of grip because you're having to lock more than you would ever actually pull. Right? It's like me with the one that I missed. It's like 630 at the top. I don't think I can deadlift 630 right now. You deadlift 600. No, but we need to get there, and that's the point. A lot of this stuff that I do allows me to test these things, to look at it in the future and figure out where I need to go. But this is a value to me, right? This is the reason we pull the way that we pull. I don't do my deadlifts to build my strength. I'm doing it to test strength. I'm doing it to find weak links. Doing it to learn to strain against a heavy weight. The other lifts build the strength. But no, I don't feel the need to use straps. I've had that come up too. I don't feel the need. Just be careful with the mixed grip. Train correctly. Train intelligently. Listen to your body. Don't let your ego get the best of you. Done that way, mixed grip is perfectly safe. Says me. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.